Joe hit me with his radical college football opinion, and that one is pretty radical, I got to admit to you. He said bowl games would be better in August than December. Now, that requires a stroke of the mustache that I do not have because it would be blonde and look pretty white trashy. This right here is pretty radical. It's a concept that sometimes gets thrown around because of the current status of bowls. You got a bunch of people opting out. You have no clue what to expect. It's just that bowls have lost their luster, and I don't really even think that's an opinion. I mean, there's no way you watch bowl season now and think it's as great as it used to be. You can still love bowl season, because I do. Like, I love bowl season. I still watch every single game. But even I, a bowl absolutist, cannot ignore the fact that something's been taken away from bowl season. They're called players. Players have been taken away from bowl season. And so there have been some questions about what you can do to save bowl season. And there are concepts, like I've always been a big proponent of a revenue share system that incentivizes participation in bowl games. It's that simple. Pay the players. That's cold, hard cash is probably the best idea. But in lieu of that, or maybe in conjunction with that, I don't know, you could enter into a revenue sharing program in the future with a stipulation that participation in every one of your team's games, unless you're injured, is required for you to get your slice of that revenue sharing pie. But how do you avoid players faking injuries to get out of bowl games? I don't know. Here is one way that you can do it, though. You can just, in your expanded playoff, let those be the games that exist in December. And you take the bowl game that you otherwise would have been in, Miami versus Rutgers, for example. Take that thing from December 28th and put it on the first week of next year. Mind you, this is certainly an imperfect and flawed concept. There are 37 different problems with this. There is no perfect solution. We're trying to find the best of a bad situation right now. That would provide you just an amazing conglomeration of out-of-conference games to open the season. A lot of folks do that anyway. Everyone should do it. It would kind of tie the seasons together. Like, there would be a bridge, in other words. Something that happened last year would affect next season. We would also be watching a schedule release in real time. Like, the bowl selection process also wouldn't have to happen in December. The bowl selection process, and this is literally coming in my mind as we're doing the segment right now, you could have that process happen in February. We got to pause. It's rare, but sometimes I do have a light bulb moment live. When I'm college football commissioner, if we do decide via popular college football public vote to move the bowl season from December to week 1 of next year, we will have a bowl selection special in February. Right before you open spring practice, we will have the bowl selection special, and you will find out who your week 1 opponents are at that point. I think it's a pretty good idea. I don't know. We'll see. I'll take some feedback on that. But no, this is not a perfect system. And also, here's the biggest flaw with it, obviously. The teams that earned that status, like that Miami team or this Georgia team, those aren't the teams that exist the next year. So you can have a great team that locked up a really prestigious bowl game against a marquee opponent, and then they all graduate or they go to the draft, and you're a shell of your former self, and it's that team that plays a premier opponent to start week 1 of next year. Look, that's the way it is. Half of y'all are opting out now anyway in the season in which you played. So stop opting out, and this won't be a problem. But until then, we got a little bit of a dilemma on our hands, and I'm watching the games anyway. I'm fine with it. But if enough people have a problem with opt-outs, then short of revenue sharing programs, which still won't totally eliminate the problem, because I'm not sure you can distribute enough revenue to offset the money a player thinks he's preserving by not playing in a bowl game, thus protecting his draft stock, which is in the 7-figure and 8-figure range. Short of doing that, there is a legit conversation to be had for moving that thing to week 1 of next year. Not perfect, but it is a radical idea.